is that often when we have an impulse, it is a creative impulse, but we often misinterpret it. So for example, most of our bad habits are creative impulses that we've misinterpreted. So for example, you have a creative impulse, like, let's go back a little bit. When you first start having these creative impulses as a child, they express freely. So children, they play, they create, they scream when they want to, they laugh when they want to, they cry when they want to. I mean, everything just comes out of them. It's a very pure reflection of the impulse coming out of them. And then, of course, with growing up, it starts to get shut down by those pesky adults. And it's not the adults' fault because theirs was shut down by their adults. It just goes back and back and back. So it's not as if it's anybody's fault that all this is shut down. But as an adult, we interpret the impulse as a lack, the ego. So for example, if I have an impulse that I want to achieve something, there is a built-in assumption that I haven't got it, which is why I want it. So it's coming from a place of lack. So because I lack this, I want it. So then what we do is we interpret that egoic misinterpretation onto our children. So when our kids kind of say, oh, I want to do this, or I want to do that, or I want to be creative, but we go, oh, then in that case, you need to go to art class, or you need to finish a piece of art, or we put something in front of them and we give them a goal. And and school does this as well, is we start to channel that purely delightful creative energy into a project, right? And we start doing that pretty early. So now there's projects and there's things. And so kids start to think, oh yeah, if I have a creative impulse, I must have a goal at the end of it. There must be something I need to do at the end of it. And so this is how we develop. So then what happens is that we start to see this impulse as a desire, and that desire as a lacking in us. And this is what I want you to start looking at. When you have a creative impulse, is it really because you're lacking something? Or is it simply life's dance? Like life's way of expressing itself through you. No lack. Just let's have fun with this. Let's create this. Let's do that. But not because you don't have it already, but simply because it's fun. It's joyful and it's different and it's, let's have a look at it kind of thing. An example of this would be, for example, let's say you sit there and you get a creative impulse. And for many of us, it's like, oh, what is that? It's like, it almost feels like an agitation in our system. And what is that agitation? So for many of us, we'll go, oh, I must be bored. So I'll go on my social media, or I must be hungry. So I'll go to the fridge, or I must be, you know what I mean? Or I need a cup of tea, so the impulse of movement. So, oh, we must be moving towards something. We must be needing something. We must be getting something. We must be missing something. Whereas actually, when you just sit with that impulse and just allow it to maybe formulate a little bit more solidly, then you will come into a better idea of what it really is saying. And this is what I say takes a little bit of practice, because we're so brainwashed and we're so knee-jerking into things.